One of the most pervasive myths that we have in polyamory is that polyamorous people don't get jealous. I don't know where this myth started, but I think we need to talk about it. I'm Annie Undone, and if you've not heard of me before, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been on here a little while. I've been kind of uploading my shorts from other platforms, but I wanted to try something different, which is teaching through storytelling, which is kind of what I do on my close friends list, but I don't do it as often in video form. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit longer form video to just kind of talk about situations in polyamory, kink, sex, and relationships, and share a little bit more of myself in hopefully what will be illuminating for you, dear watcher. One of those pervasive myths in polyamory is that if you're feeling jealous that you're not doing it right. And I think there's also a propensity to show the best on social media rather than the worst. And I think we do this in all corners, right? In our relationships, in our content, and certainly polyamory would fall under the relationships section. I try to not do that. And so I thought that I would talk about a time when I was really jealous. And I had plenty to pick from. One thing that I think that people are always kind of blown away by, in terms of jealousy, is that you might open your relationship with your partner and feel not jealous of that person, but then you get a new partner and they start dating and you're super jealous and you're well, I've never experienced this type of jealousy before. What's wrong with me, right? And that's where the feelings of being bad in polyamory kind of come from. And this is something I experienced over and over again. And when I started dating my current partner, CJ, I noticed that this was coming up more than it ever had before. I mean, we're talking full nervous system meltdown. And the first time that he spent the night with somebody else was one of those moments that I just felt like the floor was falling out from underneath of me. I had such big feelings around the fact that he had spent the night in the same bed as this other person and we hadn't done that yet, that it was a surprise. I didn't know that it was going to happen because he didn't know that it was going to happen, right? And that I was worried that this relationship that he was about to embark on with this person was going to eclipse the relationship that I had with him, right? That she was going to take him away, right? That's the definition of jealousy, is the fear that this third party outside the relationship is going to take away what you have. And I was so stricken with this fear. It was as though I could barely even function that day, right? And I was bouncing around from concept to concept, right? Feeling like I wanted to logic my way through it, right? While also feeling very stuck in the very big emotion of it. Yes, I was crying. I was very weepy. I didn't want to eat. I also did not want to talk to him, right? I mean, I did, but I did not want to kind of dump my big jealous feelings on him in that moment, right? And so I remember taking the day and kind of hanging out with my family, hanging out with some friends, hanging out with a partner. And I was feeling very distracted the whole day, ruminating on all of these concepts of what's going to happen now. Are they going to be a couple? Was this just a one-off thing? Is she more attractive than me? Is she younger than me? That's a big one for me. Is she cooler? Whatever. Who is this person? And what is this going to mean for me ultimately, which was a very scary concept to sit with, right? Now, I'm the type of person who I'm going to feel my way through the thing until I can't anymore. And I always like to tell people that in these situations, big feelings are okay, but bad behavior is not, right? So having all these feelings that I was having, rational, irrational, whatever, all of them under the big umbrella of feelings, that was fine. But what wouldn't have been fine would be to call him up and be this is bullshit. I can't believe you spent the night with this person unexpectedly when we haven't even done that, right? Spewing all of that onto him, the unprocessed mess, right? Or saying, you can't see this person again, or fill in the blank, right? So that was kind of how I guided myself through it. Now, when he was subsequently like went on like the next date with this person, I went through this process all over again, right? And I had all of those same fears. It was less shocking because I knew about the date and I knew what to expect and I knew what was going to happen. And he had like agreed, like, I'm going to leave around this time, you know, and I'll text you when I leave. He took good care of me emotionally. So those things count for a lot too. But I also just knew that I was going to be jealous. I knew that I was going to have this process. And I leaned on people, other partners, friends, other than CJ, during this time when I was highly emotional, highly triggered, and really just in a lot of fear. One thing I've learned through going through multiple situations like this, right, is I try never to focus on the person that I'm jealous of, because I know that eventually either the relationship will end because things move very quickly in polyamory, let's be honest, or I'll eventually know that it's okay that this person isn't taking my partner away from me, or I'll meet them and I'll fall in love with them because my partners have good taste in partners, right? Just as well, like they have good taste in friends, right? And so I know these things, right? So I'm trying not to focus on that person. And instead, I'm trying to bring it back to the relationship that I have with my partner and like the strength of that relationship, right? The bonds that we have together. And I try to like think about that, like, oh wait, these are the ways that I know that like I'm important to this person. Or sometimes I'll think like, well, we have plans in a month to go see this concert or this comedy show. So I know they're not going to leave me, right? And that this thinking is just like my line of thinking when I'm in fear. But one thing is for certain, I'm a very jealous person. I'm a very jealous person. And I have fears and I have triggers and I have baggage around those things. And you know what? I don't make any apologies for that. And I don't think people should. I think people should just be very realistic about like how they feel when a new relationship starts, right? That's not a statement on your partner, and that's not a statement even like on who you are, right? Like I always say about myself, like how I feel about something when I'm in jealousy or a person or like the concept of like a new relationship or something isn't going to guide my behavior moving forward. And it isn't going to guide like really what ultimately the outcome is going to be. Like I'm in control of myself, but I also have these like super big feelings. So anyway, that's a little bit of kind of, I guess, a look under the hood of how I feel when my partners have dated in the past, how I feel about jealousy, and a little bit about how I handle it. I do have a longer workshop on jealousy if you're interested. It's called I'm Jealous. And it's for partners who are jealous, but also their partners who are actively dating and how they can help soothe that dynamic. So if you're interested, you can check that out on my Ko-Fi. And either way, I hope that you will give me a like, a comment, tell me how you deal with jealousy, or don't. Some people aren't jealous. God bless you. We love you. We are not you. And yeah, give my page a follow.